Today on the Sodcast, we're joined by one of the most influential figures in modern sports turf management, Nicole Sherry, the longtime head groundskeeper for the Baltimore Orioles and one of only two women in Major League Baseball history to hold this prestigious position. Nicole's career has been defined by breaking barriers and setting standards of excellence. In 2019, she earned national recognition when the Sports Turf Management Association honored her with the Dick Erickson Award for Outstanding Achievement in Baseball Field Management, one of the industry's highest distinctions. WBLTV.com. Her impact extends beyond MLB. In 2025, Nicole was inducted into the New Jersey Trenton Baseball Hall of Fame, celebrating not only her early career as the first female head groundskeeper in the Eastern League, but also her continued leadership and innovation at Camden Yards. With more than 2 decades caring for one of baseball's most iconic playing surfaces, Nicole combines agronomic mastery, precision, and unshakable passion. She's not just managing turf, she's inspiring the next generation of women in sports, agriculture, horticulture, and turf science. From rain delays to high-performance turfgrass management, she has seen it all, led through it all, and elevated the profession along the way. Today, we're honored to hear her story, her insights, and her wisdom as we dive into the science and craft behind maintaining an elite MLB playing field.
That's a really nice intro. Thank you, Kevin.
Well, you're welcome, Nicole, and thank you for being here. Nicole, can you tell the homeowners out there a little bit about yourself?
Yeah. So I'm starting my 25th season with the Baltimore Orioles this coming March. Oh, it's like right around the corner. I studied agriculture from the University of Delaware and got into sports turf management from a field trip we took to Camden Yards to view the irrigation system. And back then, it was one of the most premier irrigation system of its time. It had this vacuum that could take the water off the field. It was just crazy. So I grabbed the head groundskeeper's business card, and about a year and a half later, I reached out and I said, hey, I really can see myself working in sports fields. I'm taking turf grass management right now. Do you have any internships available? And he said, yeah, can you be here in 2 weeks? And I packed up my home in Delaware and moved to Baltimore and kind of been here ever since, with a small break in between to go to Trenton, New Jersey for 3 seasons with the AA affiliate of the Yankees. So
Nice.
all in the nutshell, that's kind of how I got into professional sports, and just really happy to be in this industry with people like you and everybody that's listening, that, we're a really special industry for sure.
Nice, Nicole. Nicole, how did you ever find your passion? Because I know you did some work in Trenton, New Jersey, but how did you ever find your passion? How did you ever feel this is what I want to do for the rest of my life?
Yeah, I had one of those classic aha moments. It was Trenton was hard. It was AA. It was a minor league baseball, which a lot of people may not understand that. Minor league baseball, it's just you and maybe a helper at times. So we were getting ready for opening day, and I worked my butt off. It was really cold. Opening day was looming. I did everything I could. The field really wasn't in the best shape, and I worked really hard to provide a good surface. And then that opening day, I just took it all in, and I was like, you know what? I can do this. I told myself I'm going to be in the big leagues one day. It might take a while, but I'm going to get there, because this is really what I'm kind of meant to do. I loved it.
Got it. Got it. And that's what a cool story.
Yeah.
So Nicole, can you tell the homeowners out there, if you can give any advice out there for the homeowners? You always got that guy in the neighborhood that always wants to have the perfect lawn, and he's
Yes.
out there,
My neighbor.
your neighbor.
Yeah.
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 Let's talk about that. So
Yep.
tell me, what advice could you give your neighbor out there that could maybe save some money, or not fall for all the pitfalls that
Yeah.
and all the sharks out there that are trying to just take homeowners' monies, and what good advice could you give someone for their home lawn?
Yeah, I think that the number one advice I would give, if you can grow really good grass and have a real healthy stand of grass, you can reduce the impact of chemical application for weeds. The turf grass will kind of suffocate all those weeds out. Another bit of advice would be like, too much is not a good thing, so when these companies come out, you don't know what they're applying. The homeowner doesn't really understand the square footage and the calibration of the chemicals that are being, I'm assuming some homeowners probably do, but you get it.
Get it.
How much chemical is being applied, that the grass or the natural soils that, or native soils that you have a lot of those chemicals and nutrients in them already. So you might just over apply, and you're kind of just wasting your money. So I think less is more in a lot of ways.
Nice.
Growing healthy turf by just cutting, watching how short you cut the grass, maybe avoiding cutting shaded areas too frequently, like let those shaded areas not get cut for a week or two, like just take your time with those because they're not getting as much sunlight. So much stuff I can tell. But I think those are it. And then if you have an irrigation system, less is more, like that native soil is going to hold on to that water longer than a sand-based field like we have at, universities or professional league, that, the watering schedule should be minimized. You don't need that much when it's a good growing season.
Right. And what Nicole is talking about, homeowners, is you have soil profiles break up into clay, silt, and sand. And like a
Mhm.
professional field like Nicole is running has sand because she needs that water to drain so it doesn't get compacted and the field can dry quickly and etc. Basically, though, a lot of homeowners' lawns is going to have a lot of high clay or silt content in it, which holds moisture. So that's what she's talking about, and that will help reduce your irrigation needs.
Yes.
Nicole, this next question I'm a little nervous to ask you because I know
Oh,
you have taught me a lot about mound repair and
oh
a lot
yeah.
of cool things. That's not me, but a lot of people out there, a lot of professionals out there as well. But tell me a time that you might have been humbled from a mistake you had made that you can share to the homeowners out there to help them that they won't make the same mistakes from a professional like yourself.
Yeah. So, do you want to know where I've been humbled on our field or in just my normal turf grass life?
In your normal turf grass life, this is whatever you want to talk to the homeowners about, I'm all
Yeah.
ears.
Yeah. So I think the most humbling for me was when I first purchased our home. We, have this amazing yard, and I kind of went all in. I'm like, I'm the turf grass professional. I can take care of this lawn. I don't need to have a contracted out service, all the things, right?
Yeah.
So, I was able to round up the yard, and, I put new sod down. And that's where I really was like, oh my gosh, it's a lot more taking care of a home lawn than it is my own field, because of all the different factors. You have the shade issues, you have the wind dynamics that come through, you have the really hot spots of your yard. So once I saw that new grass kind of die a little bit, I was really humbled. And it was because I really didn't adjust for the native soils. And that's why I said a couple minutes ago, like, there are nutrients already present in that soil. Let that grass kind of root, take up those nutrients that you already have. Don't over fertilize if you don't have to. Like, so that's where I was humbled. I basically killed part of the yard because I over fertilized, thinking I was maintaining a professional field. So I checked myself.
No, that's great advice.
Yeah.
Great advice. And Nicole, the last question is, can you want to add anything to the homeowners that I might have forgotten that you can help out, help out the homeowners out there with?
Yeah, I think that if you can afford to, in some way or another, aerate. I think that's a practice that is really lacking. Our grass, even though it's a native soil surface, and maybe you don't walk on it a lot, but it does get compacted from just your normal rainstorms that come through. So if you can, aerify it in any way, shape, or form, just spiking the turf, either if you have the ability to pull cores or poke some holes, I think it goes a long way. Do that maybe once a year if you can. Twice a year would be great. And once maybe every other year if you can afford it, just to kind of relieve that compaction and get some oxygen moving into the soil. And then also, if you have a lot of shaded areas where you're growing the grass, skip a mow here and there on those shaded areas. You'll see a lot of improvement in those shaded area the grass stand in those shaded areas. If you skip a mow in those certain patches.
Yeah, and that's great advice, Nicole. And
And
I want
sharpen
to,
your blades.
sharpen your blades.
Yeah, sharpen your blades. Even if you can get like a hand grinder and try to do it yourself, safely. It does help. It helps give a nice clean cut and reduces infection.
Yes, and that is great, great, great advice. And what Nicole was talking about, she gave a lot of information in a short amount of time there.
Yeah,
She's a true professional that she is. But
I
in
talk
the shady
fast.
area, yeah, in the shady areas, don't be afraid to give it a little more nutrients when you're fertilizing your yard. If you do fertilize your yard, don't be afraid to give those shady areas a little extra nutrients. Okay,
Hmm.
and aerification, I tell you, as professionals like Nicole, that's the happiest time when you're aerating. A lot of people think you're destroying the yard or blah blah blah, but it helps the yard so much with decompaction and gets the air, gets the aeration going into your lawn and so forth. And that is the most thing you can do. You can rent these things from any rental. They have these little Ryan aerators that you can rent to go out there and to do your yard and go like several directions. Just don't go one direction thinking that it's okay. Go double or triple directions in your yard because the more you can put more holes into the ground, the better that lawn is going to recover. And lastly, what Nicole's talking about, she used real mowers for Kingdom Yards, I'm assuming, and
Yes.
that's like a perfect cut. And when you use a rotary mower, if you don't sharpen your blades so much, what that does to your lawn blades is that it shrivels it, which can lead to more infections and disease and all types of pests and so forth onto your lawn. So definitely sharpen your blades so you can reduce the shredding of your lawns and so forth. But Nicole, we're so glad to have you here. Being in
Yeah.
a transition zone like you are is the hardest place to grow grass. And the transition zone goes from Maryland to Kentucky. And it is the hardest place to grow cool season grass. And if you ever watch the Baltimore Orioles on Kingdom Yards on TV, you'll see that her yard is her lawn there at Kingdom Yards is impeccable.
Yeah.
It's always impeccable and looks awesome all the time. So Nicole, thank you for joining us today. Thank you for helping out the homeowners. And remember, guys, we talk turf and you grow the results. Until next time, take care.
Nice.
Thanks for watching today's Sodcast. A huge shout out to Nicole Sherry for joining us, one of only 2 women ever to serve as a head groundskeeper in Major League Baseball, a 2019 Dick Erickson Award recipient for excellence in baseball field management, and a New Jersey Trenton Baseball Hall of Fame inductee. Her dedication, innovation, and leadership continue to raise the bar for the entire turfgrass profession. If you enjoyed this episode, hit like, subscribe, and share. It helps us grow the community. And remember, we talk turf and you grow the results.